Good morning, Maple friends, and welcome to the Mr. Maple Show. I'm Brian.
And I'm Tim. We're MrMaple.com, a mail order business here in Western North Carolina, ships directly to your door. 1,000 varieties of Japanese maples.
I mean, every day I walk out in these greenhouses and I'm like, this is insane, the amount of variety that we have right now. And so today we were just thinking we need to highlight some of those different ones, because I think sometimes in that vast array of variety, some can get forgotten about or not thought about as often. And but we really appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That helps us build our channel here and get more people to bring more attention to these amazing plants.
And if you're not familiar with the dynamics here, Brian used to be a customer of ours. And Brian, you're from Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's
you recently just got a house here, so you're now putting plants in the ground.
I'm putting plants in the ground.
But he moved from Oklahoma to come work here at Mr. Maple, so we're super excited to have him. And it's awesome to have someone who loves Japanese maples. They've been buying from us and shipping. We've been shipping to him, just like we're going to be shipping trees to you here at Mr. Maple. And this is a cool plant. I know you like that ornatum type style, and this
Absolutely.
is definitely one of those that fits that bill. This is Acer palmatum Dragon's Fire.
I mean, the name, right? It's just amazing. Dragon's Fire. I mean, you kind of have that mythological creature in your mind when you think of this plant. And the fall color, I think, is kind of where that really highlights that name. It does look like a fire coming out of a dragon's mouth, right? You've got that oranges and yellows, and then it turns to a crimson red.
On a weeping habit.
On a weeping habit,
yeah.
Right? It just looks like an explosion of fire. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, that's an amazing part of it. I love this plant in the spring and the summer. Now, that's because this thing really distinguishes itself from other weeping red lace leaves. I mean, it leaves out in the spring with some cherry red colors on this lace leaf color, then go into more of that brick red color. But what makes this so cool is it's got green bark and green petioles. So that contrast between the bark and the leaf color is outstanding.
Yeah, this plant is all about the ultimate contrast, right? I mean, you have that amazing green bark that just really pops against those red leaves. And that lace leaf on there also gives you such a textural feeling to it. And then that transition into summer, it does hold its color quite well, actually. It kind of gives you a nice bronzing burgundy color in the summer, and then you get that amazing display in the fall. I mean, it's just a great plant, I think, for every season, for sure.
Yeah, and Japanese maples, the reason many people love Japanese maples, the reason I love Japanese maples is because that ever-changing beauty. And you get that with this one. This one's constantly changing from that cherry red to that brick red to that bronze to the yellows to oranges, and then it finishes out with a fiery red. I mean, you just get everything out of this plant on a weeping Japanese maple. It's a pretty awesome plant.
I mean, even when you think about it, even in dormancy, I mean, this plant is going to have an amazing structure, and then that bright green bark is just going to really stand out. So, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, this is really one of those maples that can just give you so much interest year-round.
Yeah, that's for sure. And the weeping habit is a classic shape, often used in a lot of Japanese gardens. I would say the plant that is most like this is one of the most photographed Japanese maples in the United States, is that weeping one at the Portland Japanese Gardens. I know you've probably seen photos of people with this amazing photo from underneath, and you just see that branch structure.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Dragon's Fire does. I mean, it just has that immaculate weeping structure with those exact colors of the one that's right there at the Portland Japanese Gardens, with the yellows, oranges, then late infused in reds. I mean, this is an amazing plant, and this is a plant that I think anyone can enjoy in the garden. If you've got red lace leaves, you've got green lace leaves. If you want to pair this next to upright like Summer Gold, if you want to pair this near Emperor One, I mean, it's going to contrast a lot of other Japanese maples. While it's technically a red Japanese maple because it's not green, I mean, it is a very different type of red Japanese maple.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who have been growing Japanese maples or collecting Japanese maples that have a lot of different varieties of lace leaves. Now, if you're thinking, I don't have a lace leaf, maybe I should get one, and you want something that's a little bit outside of the box, I mean, a lot of people have a Tomukayama or something in that nature, Crimson Queen. If you're looking for something that not everybody's going to have in their garden, that you can say, wow, look at this specimen here, this is going to be an amazing plant for that. It's going to be something that people are not going to be used to, and it's really going to stand out. in your landscape, and then you can tell them, what is that? It's a dragon's fire. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just an amazing name to say, I have a dragon's fire in my garden.
So we are doing this video in mid-August of 2022. So these are our typical sizes right now of our low grafted Acer palmatum dissectum dragon's fire. And so this gives you an idea of what a low graft is. It starts out often at a much lower point. A high grafted tree would have a straighter trunk and then cascade at a higher point starting out. We've got a whole video on what's the difference between a high graft and a low graft. So go check that out if you're really interested on that. And right now, fairly soon, if they're not on there yet, we'll be listing these as low grafted dragon's fire. We often from time to time list these as high grafted. So keep that in mind when you're looking for your Japanese maple. Is this a high graft or low graft? These that we have on the table are low grafted, and these are the sizes indicative around this time in the summer of August of 2022.
Yeah, you know, I want to also reiterate that this is a great container plant. I mean, even at a young age, you can see they start out with a great shape on this. So it's not like you have to wait years and years and years to have this really ornate design and structure to it. These start to get that at a very young age. So imagine putting that in a pot somewhere on your patio. You'll be able to enjoy the amazing shape that it has, and then all the transition in color and the leaves on that. It's just a great all-around plant for sure.
Yeah, the ever-changing beauty.
Absolutely.
I mean, ever-changing beauty is actually a term that I once heard from Dr. Bill Shell down in Alabama. And he was right on point with Japanese maples being an ever-changing beauty. I mean, that's why you love these things, is the changes throughout the seasons. And with this one, you can anticipate the spring color, you can anticipate the summer bronze, you can anticipate the fall color, and then you can even anticipate that late fire engine red in the fall. And this is one you'll definitely enjoy.
Absolutely. We appreciate you guys tuning in today. And I know we probably say this on every video, but if it's the first time you're watching, make sure you go to mrmaple.com and sign up for our weekly email. We do 10 new trees every Tuesday, and a lot of these plants that you're seeing here is what is in the works for coming up on those 10 at 10. So if you go to the website and you see, well, these aren't available right now, if you sign up for that email, then you'll get a notification every week of what's coming up and what's coming available on Mr. Maple.
And I've looked at the analytics. I know a half of you who are watching this video aren't subscribed to the YouTube show, the Mr. Maple Show on YouTube. Go sign up and subscribe for the YouTube show. You just click the button that says subscribe, and you'll get notifications, or you can get notified every time we get more videos on Mr. Maple, which is daily. We have new videos daily on the Mr. Maple Show. So definitely go do that. And if you hit that button to ring the bell, that will give you a notification that pops up on your phone and says, hey, Mr. Maple's got a new video. So make sure you go do that, because I know half of you out there aren't subscribed to our YouTube show. You wonder why we say that all the time. It's because half of y'all haven't done it yet.
That's right. So you're missing out. I mean, there's videos every day, like Tim said.
Yeah.
We're cranking out a ton of these videos, and there's some amazing plants that we're talking about on here that we want to share with you guys. So take care
God bless.
and have a great day.